Alright, in today's episode of Woodworking with the Russian, we're going to be taking some of the scrap plywood, some of the slightly nicer wood, and some backing 1/4-inch board, applying some of these tools to it, and we're going to have the NASA logo done 3-way. And I'll explain in the end why we do it this way and so forth, but let's see how it's built first. Plywood is really getting kind of annoying to work with. I warmed up with a couple of projects over here and snapped like 3 blades in an hour, which is, I think, a record. But we've got some men glitter being produced, so I'm actually going to use the big saw to cut this out, because last time I was having a hard time for the small logo for some reason to cut out straight lines, so we'll go ahead and cheat and use the big one. I don't like to generally use it because it's louder and noisier and kind of a more hassle to use, and also it creates a lot more man glitter, which I guess is in this case not a bad thing. So let's go ahead and get to it. Alright, so this is as far as I cut. We can line it up right here, run some screws from the back, so we need like at least 2 here, 2 for these 2, and then a couple here, so the placement is perfect, and then we can finish cutting the rest so the spacing is on point. And then we can go ahead and start sanding it all down. All this screwed together, and then I got a background for this sign, and I did cut all the angles a little bit. My only worry is that some of these corners are really like pulled up because it's just such dry, crappy plywood. But fingers crossed it'll come out okay in the end. Something was happening over here. I realized like it's an issue, but it had to happen, because if we can see right here, Houston, we have a bit of a problem. Had to say it. So this thing right here is not straight, it's bowing out. So I'm gonna go find another piece of plywood that's flat, and I'll just screw it on the backboard here from like the nice quality stuff, and this should be able to keep it straight. And so it's a pretty easy fix. But it did give us a chance to say, Houston, we have a problem. Can we do the eagle has landed now too? Here is to kind of position our doodles somewhat vertically so we don't have paint runoff. And we don't want the red going on the side of these. So that's why we want it kind of vertical so we can face it perpendicular and not have to overspray too much. I'm using the, come on plane, crumbly this plywood is, and as often as it snaps blade, the reason I like to use like the old scrap plywood with that texture is just 2 light kind of coats of red with the black sides, and look how awesome it looks. I hate spraying white, it just goes everywhere and never covers well, although this batch of paint seemed to be okay. But we can see a lot of the imperfections on this. The jigsaw was ripping out chunks. I want to try this glitter white paint, so we're going to see if I can spray and video record at the same time. Let's see my mad Russian skills. Nope. I have a bad feeling about this one. Oh, never mind. I think I see some glitter, but I'm not 100% sold on this. So they're all finished. I put them together, I screwed the backings from the back. Everything is dry brushed, aged, looks nice and rustic. The bigger ones are the scrap plywood. This is the nicer wood, but as you can see, I weathered it a fair bit. So I was having trouble for some reason. Normally it's not a problem, but this one was like splittering and not quite coming out nicely. You can see like right here where the jigsaw just ripped chunks out. Glitter just wasn't quite right, and the texture wasn't, the color wasn't quite right. So I did do another layer of gloss white over it, and it still has, it's a little rough to the touch. It has that slight glitter texture to it because it comes out almost like a 240 grit sandpaper or something like that. In like the rustic style signs are a little bit easier, especially in the beginning. You can see, however, that the backing board on the small bits is really nice. So that's what I usually prefer to do, is not try to do it too big, and then when you spray paint it carefully, like overlapping by half every time you go, and you kind of get used to it. The backing board here is brushed, and then this one front is sprayed, but it had to be done like with like 3 or 4 layers of spray paint. And it is, I'm quite happy with the spray, depending on the application. It's just one of those things where it's like riding a bicycle. To some extent, you just get used to using different tools for different job, and part of it is just, you know, you explore, you sacrifice wood with your professional tools. And then you just kind of figure it out on some level. But me personally, I don't try to make most things too perfect. I do clean projects here and there, but most of the time I like them weathered, and it just comes out better in my opinion. So hopefully that helps, and I'll see you next time whenever we build something else. I forgot one thing. The eagle has landed. I'll see myself out. Thanks guys.